Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Anne, and on my channel I review foreign international content. Today I'm back to review Alchemy of Souls. We are episode 9 and 10, and oh my goodness. Okay, so what information did we learn this time? So Modyok is the lost daughter, sister, who we were told disappeared 10 years ago. Her name was Bouillon, who her father has been looking for a long time. So that became clear, obviously, when Jin Mu was talking to the queen and said that Bouillon, when she was a child, was the one who was able to access the ice stone. And obviously we saw she was always blind and she could feel energy, and that's how she was able to find that ice stone. And then obviously Jin Mu saw her with it and he wanted to get it, and she was like, no, and it went poof up in the air. And so since Jin Mu knows this, according to him, she died. But based on the evidence we're getting, it seems like she did not die, and she is Modyok, because remember when we first met her, she was wearing that blindfold that her mother made for her, that has that crest for their family, right? So Jin Mu does not know that Modyok is the lost daughter, Bouillon, and he, as you heard him telling the queen, is going to trick his sister into thinking that he found her. And he found that girl we just saw. Her name is Soyi, and she's the one who's pretending to be Bouillon, because Jin Mu is trying to be on the good graces with his sister in hopes of getting more power, obviously, because they know as long as Songrim is there, he doesn't have that much power, right? So in the end, he's just wanting more power to control. Now they know that the son of Jang Gang is alive and is the star, and he is the one who's supposed to inherit and take over Songrim. So any power they can get, they are willing to do whatever it takes. So if he can take over his sister's kingdom or house, he's going to be more powerful, right? At the end of it all, it's about power. And then we also saw him discussing, why did Jang Gang, after he did sorcery with the king, why didn't he not stay? He kind of sealed the ice stone and then disappeared. And I believe we get why, because they showed us that flashback when he saw Naksuk's dad, who obviously, because of sorcery, when they did soul shifting, he went wild and started killing everybody. And obviously he's crying because he's like, I'm the one who caused this, and he doesn't want this to ever happen again. And I believe that was his way of like, I'm gonna seal the ice stone, and then I'm gonna get away from here just in case I also get possessed and start killing my loved ones, right? So I believe that's why he went away, is my thinking. Let me know if you're thinking the same thing. But now that his son has opened up the door to the energy and now is in Songrim learning, we get the feeling Jang Gang is going to come back, because he has to come and protect his son. Otherwise, what if his son also, gets crazy and starts hurting his loved ones, right? Here's to hoping that doesn't happen, and if it does, he's going to come and help his son. That's one. Second of all, we know Jin Mu is having Soyi look for Modyok because he figured out Modyok. Remember when Jilju died? He figured out that Modyok is Nansuk, and that's why he is following. He told that fake Bouillon, whatever her name is, to come looking for Modyok, because they know Naksuk's spirit or soul is in Modyok's body. Are we together? I know. It feels like we need notes and a chart, to connect the dots, right? But if you follow the family history, it makes kind of sense of where we are going, right? And then on top of it all, it was so endearing and sweet. Like there is love in the air, right? I mean, there is love in the air. Clearly now, it's very clear she's in love with Jang Uk. I mean that when she told him, I'm gonna work hard to get into Solgrim, it was like him saying, okay, you work so hard to come be with me, that means you love me too. I love that he replied, you know, remember he had that challenge of trying to figure out the poem? And so his reply to the poem was, I missed you too. And at first she was like, why is he saying this to me? And almost like I have created too much attachment between the both of us. But it's like, even she has to think like, yeah, why am I so invested, right? The things she had to do to earn being a worker at Solgrim, that was a lot of work, but so touching. And then it was so much fun to see the Crown Prince and Yule and Angu all trying to help her obviously get the job at Songrim. That was really cute. The other relationship I'm really loving is the one between Aid Kim, Park Jin, and now Master Lee is in love with her too. Another love triangle going on. And then we have Dangu and Sochio as well. They're definitely getting close. I'm like, oh, we have love is in the air and people are falling in love. The Crown Prince also is very fond of Modiok, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And by the way, the Crown Prince and Jang Uk, because there was soul shifting between Jang Gang and the king, that would mean they're cousins, right? Because the Crown Prince's father was a brother to the king. Do you agree? This is why I was asking before, do we go with the soul shifting or do we go with DNA? Who is the father? Who is the daddy, right? Is it the king or is it Jang Gang, right? So hopefully we have 20 episodes. We're gonna see which direction they go. Are we gonna go with DNA or are we gonna go with the soul, right? But so far, so much fun, fantastic. I also love the character of Lady Leo. I guess her grandpa is the one who lives at Solgrim, and she clearly is completely smitten by Jang Uk, covering for him when he's slipping out or when during the whole confrontation with Jilju, she saw all that as well. So very interesting. But I'm looking forward to seeing more information as far as Modiok and what happened to her, where they thought, you know, the daughter, they're assuming she's dead, but she is, because that would be her, right? Anyway, very interesting. What did you love on episode 9 and 10? I thought it was really, really good. And I feel like every single time Jin Mu shows up is when we get more information about what's going on. The rest, I feel like it's fluff with the whole relationships back and forth. But when Jin Mu shows up on the screen, I'm like, okay, let me listen closely. Like, what did he say? Because usually when he shows up is when we find out more about these manjis or mungis, like they call them, you know, the ones that have the power. And obviously he's trying to take all the power, him and that crazy queen. So we'll see what happens. But let me know what you think down below of episode 9 and 10. And once again, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you next week when I'm reviewing episode 11 and 12. If you like my video, give me a like, subscribe. It does help to support my channel. And I'll see you next week. Deuces.